Hello everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. Today I'm going to be doing a draft with March of the Machine Aftermath. It's just come out on Arena. I have had a chance to do a couple of these drafts already. So what's going on is there's one Aftermath card that's been added to a regular March of the Machine pack. In this case, it's Urborg Scavengers. It's a pretty good one. It's a 2/2, but it eats creature, well, it eats any card from a graveyard, and if it's a creature, it steals some of their abilities. So a lot of the times you're going to, effectively, it's going to be cast as a 3 mana for a 3/3 flyer, and then it'll grow to a 4/4 the first time it attacks. I think it's probably the best card in this pack. It's between one of the black cards and Rampaging Raptor, I would say, which I do think is better than Kenra Spellspear, even though the Spellspear is pretty good. I think it's between the Scavengers, Deadly Derision, and the Raptor. I'm going to take the Scavengers just because it's the new card. It's number one. There's a lot of in this draft set, but this is number one. This is a really good card, but it's kind of unreasonable to be mono black. I'm not a big fan of Invasion of Gobekhan. I guess I'm gonna take Ayara. Is the Aftermath card gone? It is. I think in general the Aftermath cards are probably lower power level than just the cards from March of the Machines. It's kind of... Well, here's the Aftermath card from this pack, and it's not particularly good. You could see how you could, you know, if you're constructing a deck to play with this card, it might be good. But as a card just in a draft where you're not going to have access to as many artifacts and or enchantments as you might want, it's probably going to be almost impossible to use. I think I'm just going to take Furnace Rains. It works well with Ayara. I do like drafting Red Black Sack. Also, this pack is just pretty bad in general. If I wasn't going to take Furnace Rains, it would be either Alabaster, Host Intercessor, or Firja. Both of which are just, I would say, nothing really special. All right, looks like we're not going to be able to take a card for black-red here. I don't hate playing a main deck Lithomantic Barrage, but I think I might just prefer to take a better card in a different color and stay a little bit open. So it's probably going to be Skyclave Aerialist. I don't really see what else it could be. This is another card that's just really hard to make great use of in Limited. You could imagine times when this would be useful, but I think just as a card to put in your deck, it's just not going to be useful often enough to really be worth, you know, playing. So given that I'm not going to take that, there's also just the best two cards I think are green, the Kami of Whispered Hopes and the Serpent Blade of Singlet, both of which are not exciting fifth picks. I guess I'm taking Kami of Whispered Hopes. We're trying to figure out what this deck's actually going to be. I'm not a huge fan of Tymaret in this format, just because you don't, like... The main thing that this added in Theros was it was just a 2-drop that gave you 2 Devotion to Black, and you cared about your Devotion to Black, but you're just not going to have a lot of cards where you care about your Devotion to Black. So it's generally a hard to cast 2-drop. But I think I am actually going to pick it, because if I'm playing Ayara, then this card won't be hard to cast. And it's not awful if you're playing, you know, 11 Swamps. Ooh. Should I try to live the dream and play with a triple black card and a quadruple blue card? Probably not. I think I'm just going to take Shadow the Source. It's, I think it's still most likely I wind up red-black. What does this card do? Choose a Planeswalker type. Planeswalkers you control the chosen type have hexproof. Yeah, that's not going to be a usable card in most draft decks. That's kind of my experience with Aftermath. There's a huge number of the cards are just like, it's a creature that has completely useless abilities for playing booster draft. I might take Urn of Godfire here. Over Lithomantic Barrage. With the idea being that it's going to allow me to make a mana base that can probably cast these super black intensive cards and also some red cards. All right, Drag Recycler. That's the kind of stuff I need. And Skittering Surveyor, sure. So this, you can only sack black creatures to this. Okay. And it drains off of black creatures. I could take Hanger Scrounger, or I could maybe be open to splashing white. What if I open Kroxa and Kunaros? I would hope to have this card in my pool then. Usually Hanger Scrounger doesn't make my deck. Oh. They really wanted me to have a Lithomantic Barrage this draft. Don't think I'm going to play green, and I don't think I'm going to play blue. I don't really think I'm going to play white either, but if I get a really good single white rare, I'll probably splash it. Like Knight Errant of Eos. Not really, actually, what I was thinking of when I was thinking of a really good rare. And white. This is a good card, but not as a card to play as a thin splash. This is a really good card if you're, just a cheap white creature deck and you're curving out into it. This is the Aftermath card. This is actually a pretty good one. So for 4 mana, you get a 3/3 that kills an artifact or enchantment. For 5 mana, you get a 3/3 that kills an artifact or enchantment and you gain 4 life. Or it can just be a 3 mana 3/3. It's obviously not insane, but it's like a perfectly reasonable card. Except I'm not going to be playing enough green to take advantage of it. I'm just going to take a pretty sad Nezumi Informant, I think. I'm kind of a fan of Marauding Dreadship. Hopefully that wheels. This isn't the Aftermath card. This is whatever the bonus set sheet is called in this set. This is the Aftermath card. The Goldforged Thopteryx, a dinosaur Thopter, which that's not a real thing. That's just made up nonsense thing. So I could take Furnace Rains, or I could take Invasion of Amonkhet. I think I'm going to take Furnace Rains. And we really didn't see any of the stuff that makes me want to play white-black. Or splash white. So here there's a Kenra Spell Spear, which is certainly appealing with the possible exception that it might be a little bit hard to cast. There's also a Bloodfell Caves, which would be great because it would be a step towards solving my mana problems. There's a lot of good green cards in the pack, but I think we're past the point where I'm considering green. I think I'm going to take the Spell Spear, and I'm going to hope that my mana works out. The Aftermath card in this pack is pretty interesting. It's kind of a sweep. Well, it's like a really slow sweeper sort of thing. I think in general that it probably isn't particularly good, but it is going to be really good in some games. This is the Aftermath card here. Return an artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I guess if you get this thing going with Urn of Godfire, you win. Seems pretty narrow, though. I think this is a pretty easy Stormclaw Rager. I've got 2 Furnace Rains, so I'm definitely very interested in sack outlets. And also, if you get the treasure off the Furnace Range, you can also feed it to Stormclaw Rager, so you wind up getting card advantage from your removal, which is pretty nice. Here we've got an Unseal the Necropolis, but I think I'm just going to take Furnace Host Charger. Because I do want to have a functional mana base where I probably play like 11 swamps. Which I haven't gotten that many black cards, so it's a little bit awkward. Hopefully I start picking up some more black stuff. I'm not so desperate, though, that I'm picking Ichor Shade over a Volcanic Spite. Seems like it's going okay. Hopefully I get mostly black cards in the third pack, although black really wasn't particularly open, so that's maybe a foolish hope. I did get the fairly late Dreg Recycler, so maybe it's just the packs broke a little bit badly for me. I hope I don't wind up playing Flywheel Racer, but if it's a desperate time, I might need to. Squirmblade Berserker versus Bloodfell Caves. I'm going to go with the Berserker, just because I do think it's really strong. There's another Bloodfell Caves that might wheel. I'm hoping not to play so much red that the Marauding Dreadship makes my deck, but if it did, it wouldn't be a disaster. Same can also be said of Urn of Godfire and Lithomantic Barrage. I'll go with Corrupted Conviction here over the second Shadow of the Source. I definitely want to have a lot of sack outlets with 2 Furnace Rains in my deck. And also I'm going to be playing as many copies of things like Nezumi Informant as I can get. Definitely don't care very much about Render Inert here. I don't have any battles. And I'm pretty happy to get a Bloodfell Caves. There's no way that this Mirran Bane Splitter is making my deck, so maybe there's some rare mythic I would open that would cause me to want Rugged Highlands. Same thing with Jungle Hollow. I don't know what the Jund rares are. I know it's not Invasion of Urgamon, though. I'll take it, but I'm not putting that in my deck. Alright, I'm not going to splash for a double green card. I'll tell you that much for free. This is the Aftermath card, Markov Baron. I've had this a few times, and I think it's better than it looks, which that really depends on how it looks to you. But the fact that it has 4 ability lines on it, and as long as you're taking advantage of a couple of those lines a lot of the time, yeah, I think it's worth including. So if you've got a few other vampires, like Ichor Drinker's a vampire, there are a couple other things that are also vampires. Also Convoke is, I mean, almost any decks can be able to take advantage of that. Madness, some decks can take advantage of. All that said, I'm going to take Final Flourish. It's really good with 2 Furnace Rains, and I'm also just a little bit light on hard removal. This is an interesting pick. How many creatures do I have? 10? I think in general you should be picking Vanquish the Weak over Dreg Recycler, but I think I want to take the Dreg Recycler this time. I feel like I've already got a pretty decent assortment of spells, and I definitely want to have a lot of sack outlets to make sure my Furnace Rains are working as often as possible. Also, I want more creatures so that I can get Ayara to work. Here, I'll happily take the 3rd Furnace Rains. Oh man, Hirobi of Death's Whale. I put this in my deck so often. And like occasionally it's good and sometimes it's just terrible. One of the things that can make this card really good is it works really well with backup because you can back up onto your opponent's creatures to kill them. Of course, your opponent can back up onto it to kill it, which that's not so good. This card is wildly inconsistent. I'm going to take it, though, because the only other card I would play from this is Failed Conversion, and I think this has way more upside than Failed Conversion. This card is so weird. Reckless Handling. So it's kind of like Gamble, which if you ever play Legacy is a card that gets played sometimes in very specific combo decks. This is a much worse version of Gamble, although it has the upside if you discard an artifact, you deal 2 damage to each opponent, which that's almost nothing. This is obviously not a card you can play in draft. I guess if I was forced to put one of these cards in my deck, it would be Bladed Battle Fan, but I'm going to hope not to play with that one. Which one's this one? Oh, I kind of like this card. This is another one of the weird cards in this format. It's the new Aftermath card, and it just requires you to have dragons in your deck, but there's almost no dragons. I think on average you see less than 1 dragon per draft. I'm sure that occasionally you could have a deck that would have 2 or 3 dragons, but it just seems like most drafts that's just going to be completely useless. Do I want a second Spell Spear or do I want Unseal the Necropolis? Unseal the Necropolis does have the benefit that it is black. But I think Spell Spear is good enough that I'm just gonna accept that my mana is not gonna be that great with the Ayara. Do I have any combos with Zada Hedron Grinder? I feel like my decks never actually have good combos with this thing. I don't know what people are doing with it to get the combos, but I'm not doing it, whatever it is. I don't want any of these cards. Maybe I would play Ren's Resolve if I was somehow really forced to. I think my colored mana situation is going to be fine, given that I've got 2 Skittering Surveyors and a dual land. I'll probably play 8 Swamps, 7 Mountains, 1 Bloodfell Caves. I guess I could play 9 Swamps, 6 Mountains, 1 Bloodfell Caves, plus the Furnace Host Charger. That means that I'm going to want to get 2 more cards that I just want to put in my deck, though. Sometimes Rouse Reinforcements is fine in red-black. I don't think I have enough ways to get value from the 1/1s that I'm excited about playing with that. I'm definitely not excited with playing any of those. Or any of these. Or any of these. I guess no one's playing White Blue Knights. Or that. Or Forest. I'm not going to play Forest. So I think I said that was what I wanted my target mana base to be. Meaning I need to add 2 more spells to my deck. I will try the Bladed Battle Fan. Can't say I'm super excited about it, but can be sacked to Stormclaw Rager or Dreg Recycler. Hopefully after you get a card with a value out of it. I would need a way to turn it into a creature to sack it to Ayara. That's probably not going to happen. And I guess I can play Marauding Dreadship. I think Marauding Dreadship is kind of like... It's a little bit like Rouse Reinforcements in that you get 2 bodies for 1 card. It obviously requires you to pump 5 mana into it instead of just 2, but the bodies you get are so much more impactful, and I think that's what this deck wants. It would have been nice if I'd gotten like 1 or 2 more Nizumi informants or something like that. But this deck, it seems fine. I've got pretty good interaction with 3 Furnace Rains and a lot of ways to sack the things and some just regular removal spells. A couple of strong creatures. I would say Urborg Scavengers and Stormclaw Rager are both really strong. Alright, let's give it a try. Sometimes you don't want to play the Scornblade Berserker on turn 1 when you draw it, just because the counter is almost definitely just going to wind up dealing like 2 damage, and then you're going to wind up wanting to get the card out of it. I played it here because I might need to sack it to make a land drop pretty early on. Oh no, it's the Goldforged Thopterix. We'll see if they want to block. And I'll just play Final Flourish. 2 mana for a 1/3 flying lifelinker is actually a really good deal in Limited. If you play that thing on turn 2, it's going to have a huge effect on your opponent's ability to race against you over the course of the game. It might have Assimilate Essence here. Nope. Okay. I don't know what they're up to over there. Surprised me. Okay, I'm surprised they just took it all. I was going to say please don't have Sunfall, but I mean it would be bad, but it wouldn't be, I can't possibly come back level bad. I'll probably sack the Scornblade Berserker here. They do have Sunfall. Okay. Lame. I didn't enjoy that. Wow, 2/6. Take back everything bad I said about you, Tymaret. 2/6. Has anyone ever beaten a 2/6 creature before? Probably not. I'm still getting the drains from Mayara as well. That's kind of nice. Invasion of Kaldheim. Yeah, let's do it. Obviously, these two, as cards that are about to be exiled, they're exiled face up, right? I believe so. It's not going to be much in the way of surprises. I'm a Battle fan. Sometimes that's how things go, though. Two 7. Can I get the 3/7, please? Uh-oh. And they even get to draw a card. How lucky. Do get to drain them again, though. Oh, I exiled their creature. I guess I was supposed to do that. Flying lifelink, that would have actually been good with the scavengers. It's unfortunate that I didn't draw a way to sack something. Yeah, I'm just gonna go face. They die if they don't have a way to gain life or kill me or kill Ayara. Or I guess they could counter something. Are they going to exile the Ayara? They are. Wow. Okay. At least I forced them to use their intercessor on it, something that they had realm grasped. Doesn't matter what I put this on. I don't think it really does. Guy's going to the sky. So they have 8 damage in the air, and then next turn they're going to have 10 damage in the air with Wrath. It's a little scary. It's worth attacking with this. I think it is. They have to chump it or trade with it. I guess I'm hoping they trade with it. Maybe I should have attacked with Timurid as well. I can obviously block a bunch of things and then drag Recycler away my Nezumi Informant and eat it with Timurid, so that puts me to effectively 13 life. Meaning I'm not just dead. Although they might be able to force me to block with my Dreg Recycler, which would be unfortunate. Because I would need them to kill them. That helps them to be in play. No, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, they're just dead. If my math checks out, which it hasn't always in the past. Gonna throw a battle fan at them. It's tough going up in ranks here. I won that match and I lost rank. I have a pretty strong conviction that I'm going to Corrupted Conviction this Skittering Surveyor. Maybe not. But I have a hunch that's going to wind up happening. Let's find out. Get my third swamp here, so I can play when I draw it. I'm just somebody who plays with Bladed Battle Fan now. It's just something that happens. Oh, they're not going to see this coming. Surprise, it's Bladed Battle Fan. I'll even get the point of toughness. Nice. I was right. I'm Corrupted Convictioning my Skittering Surveyor. I'm really hoping that I find something. More Skittering Surveyors. Not the stuff I'd really dreamt of, but not the worst either. Mil Meharobi of Death's-Will. Oh, this Ayara's Oathsworn is actually a pretty good card. For an themed card, it's pretty good. Don't think it's worth using my Final Flourish to try to force through an attack, because if I do that, then the Consuming Aetherborn's just going to crack back, and I'm going to have to either make an awkward double block or just take it, at which point my attack doesn't accomplish anything. I think it's better just to save the Final Flourish so that I can make plays like this. So I'm trading Tymaret for the Hollow Charge Scab. I guess I can block like this, and maybe they make a questionable ordering. If I block like that, probably left with the Skittering Surveyor though. I'm going to Final Flourish the Obosh, and it's just an issue of how I order things. Oh. Or how my opponent orders things. Had I doubled with the Nezumi Informant instead, and they had left the Nezumi Informant second, I would have gotten to keep my Tezzeret. But if they reorder things correctly, I would say, then they kill both my creatures. So this way I'm left with the Skittering Surveyor. It was basically a, do I want to gamble to see if I can keep the Informant and the Tymaret, or guarantee myself the Surveyor? I think it was better to guarantee myself the Surveyor, because I think that was a really easy spot for them to reorder. But they didn't, at least, given the way I blocked. Oh man, that thing's a terror. Gonna need some more spells at some point. Should probably just start holding lands because of Invasion of Kaldheim. Oh, that's a spell. Am I getting something back? It's probably like Consuming Aetherborn. Oh, the Final Flourishing. Okay. Oh, and they're also getting Consuming Aetherborn back. And they milled my Invasion of Kaldheim. Things aren't going great. Maybe I could draw Stormclaw Rager. I thought that would get their Consuming Aetherborn. I guess this is perhaps even scarier. I need to draw Stormclaw Rager, eat my Battle Fan, and have that draw me a Furnace Rains. It seems somewhat unlikely to happen. But if it does happen, it would be great. All right. I'm in double chump territory, but I'm not actually 100% dead. Unless they have a spell. Okay, they kill me here. But had the top of my deck been Stormclaw Rager, Furnace Rains, I would have, you know, gotten to kill at least one of their guys. And then if it was Stormclaw Rager, Furnace Rains, I would have actually swept their board. Because I would have played the Stormclaw Rager, eaten the Blade. I think I had enough mana that I could have then attacked with the Terror, eaten the Terror, stolen the other Terror, and eaten it. None of that happened, though. Come on, Swamp. I'm going to try to draw a Swamp on my turn. I failed. Could have been worse, though. I hope they discard something that has a lot of abilities, like Vigilance. Vigilance is an ability I can scavenge. Ooh, Swamp. Nice. I guess there is one issue with this guy, that it can't grow, right, if it runs out of cards in the graveyards. So I think that this needs a target for the first set of sentences to work. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I'll just attack and we'll find out. I'm guessing it doesn't work. Let's see. It didn't work. Very sad. Something horrible is going to happen to my Horobi of Deathswail here, I'm sure. Or actually, they could kill my Scavengers instead. If they have two backup creatures, they can kill my Scavengers and my Horobi of Deathswail. This seems like it could go horribly for me. But it hasn't. This is actually going great now. The only sad thing is I didn't draw a land. I would have liked to draw a land to pitch to discard. To the Pyre of the Worlds. I'm willing to trade the Scavengers with the Dusk Legion Zealot to just prevent them from having a big turn. Oh, do they have Cut Down? If they have Cut Down, cut short. Now there. That's more awkward. I can still get him with the battle fan somehow, I'm sure. Definitely don't want to attack with the Portent Tracker because you can just deal a point to the invasion of Dominaria by staying home. Let's do some marauding. I think I'm willing to trade my Marauding Dreadship for Kami of Whispered Hopes, even though it means they're probably going to get to flip this invasion of Dominaria. Realistically, they're going to get to flip this. It's just a matter of whether it happens this turn or next turn. I just need to draw something I can use with Furnace Rains to kill it. Okay, they're not actually flipping this turn. That's great for me. I think I want access to my mana rather than animating this. So this is going to flip. I'm going to use it to kill this thing, and we're going to see what I draw. It's a land. So I'm going to get this guy out here, do this. This is prowess, so it's not just instants and sorcery. So wow, with the battle fan, we're going to be ready to fight. Vat Keeper, but they don't have 5 mana currently, so they can't make this thing big. Guardian of Ghirapur, flicker the Vat Keeper. That's kind of cool. Something good. Skittering Surveyor. Not everyone's idea of something good, but not the worst. I want to use this swamp to kill the Portent Tracker or save it for next turn. I think I'm going to save it for next turn. Okay. Deal damage to players with this? Any target. Not bad. If I need to, I'll chuck a land to finish something off that gets blacked by the Timuret, or... So if I bet... So they're taking 4. They're going to 9. This is going to get... Sorry, they're taking 5, assuming I put the battle fan here. Get 8. If I put the battle fan here instead, and I corrupted conviction. 10, 6. I'd be dealing 4 to them. They'd be going to 5. So I don't think I should just go for max damage to my opponent. Do you get a treasure token? It's nice to have a treasure token. Just finish this thing off because I can. Oh no, I got an yeah that I can't cast. Well, that was sad. Show me something good. Come on, something good. I maybe didn't need to put all this stuff into play. It's kind of hard to imagine that it's going to matter, but maybe there's some spell in hand plus Sunfall on top scenario where I would prefer I didn't cast Stormclaw Rager. I have a hunch it's not going to come to that. They have untapped their planes. Come on, mountain. I'm going to try to draw a mountain on my turn. Will I succeed? We'll find out. I failed. Failure at mountain drawing. Wow, the Horobi of Death's Whale is going to make it very hard for them to get to draw an extra card with burn spells and Agar. It's the same thing with the Dreg Recycler. Yeah, it's not a mountain. This is beginning to look grim. I guess they're not going to be able to attack this turn, at least. That's good. Then maybe I draw a mountain? Mountain. Still trying to draw a mountain. Oh, are they going to flip Invasion of Vryn? Okay. I'm not going to chump with the Dreg Recycler, so they're going to get to flip. The question is, do I want to block Agar or the Skyclave Aerialist? Probably Agar. The fact that I have this Horobi in play does make it so my Furnace Rains kill things. So I don't need the Dreg Recycler, but it's not like Horobi is a card you can really plan on living, so... Also, Plated Battlefan is not good with Horobi. Attach it to target creature you control. It's too bad I can't attach it to my opponent's creatures. And I think we're going to attempt to block with Horobi, which not the kind of plan that usually works, I would say. Okay. That's not great for me, but it is something that Horobi can trade with. I think... So I would be taking 10. If I want to eat a flyer, go to 3. I can't Battle Fan the Horobi. Trying to get the Battle Fan to attach to it would just kill it. I never drew a mountain. I lost. Unfortunate. Two colors of mana. I'm making progress. Should I trade with the Order of the Mirror if they attack? Certainly not if they flip it, because I don't even have a viable trade then. Instead, I think it's time for the Marauding Dreadship to get into the fight. I think I'm going to Volcanic Spite the Order of the Alabaster Host. Putting Skittering Surveyor on the bottom. I want to see what happens in this combat first. I think they might trade with the Dreadship, actually. Or they might take it. Or they might have a removal spell. That's fine. They're going to make it 2/4? They are. This person's not shy about flipping these things. Whenever given the opportunity to, they've just immediately flipped it. I'm going to crack the Scornblade Berserker on their turn. Hope they had a 6th land for Furnace Host Charger. If not, maybe I'll play Invasion of Kaldheim. I'll have to see what they do. Would like to draw you again, Urborg Scavenger. Maybe should have sacked this first, just so I get 2 shots at land, because I think land's probably better next turn than the Urborg Scavenger. Well, it's going to work out anyway. Definitely didn't want to bottom the Urborg Scavenger. If my plan was to bottom the Urborg Scavengers, I would have just sacked them to the Dreg Recycler. It's a dramatic revelation. It doesn't seem like what they needed, though. Oh. They didn't even take the Urborg Scavengers. Interesting. Just trying to figure out if I should attack with the 2/2 there. I think the answer was maybe no. Turn 3, Ayara. I'm living the dream. Of course, I don't have any more black creatures to follow it up with, but maybe I'll draw some. Overgrown Pest. I like this guy a lot. I feel like I don't draft it enough. It's not like I don't draft it pretty highly, though. I guess I'm just not... I don't tend to draft green that much. If they play this thing, I can sack it to Ayara to get a card. Which I'll probably do. Do I want to go super slow? Wait for our Ayara. Yeah, I think I do. Rather than Furnace Rainsing this thing. This has a green-black color identity, right? It does. It, however, does not count towards Black Devotion. So if I have Timuret, I don't get an extra toughness for the brief amount of time that I would be controlling it. Which, that's obviously very sad for me. Alright. I don't get to draw a card, but I do kill the Wary Thespian. And I still get the 1/1. It's nice to get the 1/1. Come on, Invasion of Kaldheim off the top of my deck. Invasion of Ikoria for 5. This could be a problem. Hopefully Shadow to the Source can solve it. It's Sheoldred. It is in fact a problem, although it appears to be manageable. Do I want to let them hit this thing? Just have access to my mana. Next turn, I think I do. They're going to deal 3 damage to something with 6 loyalty. Oh, also have to sack a non-token. It's kind of rough. I kept the Dreg Recycler just in case I drew a Furnace Rains. I wanted to be able to be sure I could Furnace Rains the Zilortha and then get rid of it. Oh, they're getting another Sheoldred off. They're going to get Sheoldred out of their graveyard this time. This is gross. Ikoria has been very thoroughly invaded. So I need 8 cards in my yard for this to flip, is that correct? It is. This would put me to 6 cards in the yard. The problem is, even if this doesn't flip, it's going to start flipping these. And those are pretty big problems as well. So I think I'm just digging for Furnace Rains here. I can try to double block. So if I cast this, I'm going up to 7 cards in my yard. The one good thing is once they flip this into Zilortha, it's legendary, so I'm not going to immediately flip the other one. Got that to look forward to. I do think I'm going to need to Volcanic Spite the Overgrown Pest just to get another card, because I need a Furnace Rains next turn, probably. Maybe there are some other cards that are good for me, but I'm certain that Mountain is not going to be a card that saves me. Ooh, the Bladed Battle Fan. That's not a card that saves me. This flips. It's as a sorcery. Okay. Hopefully they don't realize Zilortha is legendary and they just send both their creatures at it. Eating the Mines, not great. It's a Bladed Battle Fan. They never expect it. Who could blame them? Okay, that's another problematic card. Beginning to see a trend. That's a really good draw. I don't think I can afford to attack with the Stormclaw Rager. I guess if they double block, I can kick the Final Flourish, so I can't actually afford to attack with it. Can you sack artifacts to this? You can. Let's see what I draw first. Skittering Surveyor. I think we'll just kill this as a moan. Use crew 1. Like a swamp, please. That was a lot of Sheoldreds I had to fight my way through. I've dropped this Bladed Battlefan a lot this draft, with very low expectations for it, and it's actually been really good a lot. Okay. Maybe I was underrating that card, or maybe I'm just getting incredibly lucky with it today. Who can really say? I have a new favorite combo in this limited format. It's blue-red Marauding Dreadship Tetsuko Umizawa. Make the Marauding Dreadship unblockable. 4/1 unblockable haste. It's pretty good when you can get it. I'm just going to Bladed Battlefan them yet again. They're going to be very sad. I can tell it already. The only sad thing about this is now that the Battlefan's going to fall off the Marauding Dreadship, which hardly seems fair. Yeah, there's a lot of those. So if I put the Battlefan on the Surveyor, I can crew the Dreadship, at which point they'll trade. They'll go to 10. And I'll have access to Final Flourish, probably sacking the Surveyor. Alternately, I could just put the Battlefan on this thing. I don't really have a good block. I think it's better just to get the trade this turn. I think it's better for me to have to make this trade, because it's gonna give me better attacks next turn, or simpler attacks, because I'll either be able to just Final Flourish away if they play one big thing, or maybe Shatter the Source. We'll see. If they played two things, that's a little bit awkward. Yeah, this didn't work out great. Didn't work out horrible, though. continue to move this battle fan around. I'm also getting them to a low enough life total that Furnace Rains might just kill them, which is nice. It's good when your opponent just dies. Furnace Rains will definitely kill them if I draw it off the top of my deck. I did not. I'll hold this land in case I draw Invasion of Kaldheim. I did not need it. It's back, the Marauding Dreadship. Another surprise guest appearance. I might not be able to play it on turn 3, though. But if I'm able to, I'm probably going to. I don't know what this card does. It's a 2/3. Thopters you control have haste. You can play a land from exile or cast. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you get a 1/1 Thopter. Okay. It seems like it could, if they have like Ren's Resolve, that'll be pretty nasty, but there's probably not going to be a ton of ways to trigger that in their deck. This is probably mostly just a 2-mana 2/3. But we'll see. It's pretty nasty. I really needed to land that turn. If this thing flips, it is really, really not a good thing. Does this count as casting things from exile? I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. We need to. And the last counter is removed, exile it, then transform it. Oh, so it is coming in from exile. So they are going to get a Thopter from this. Okay. Go easy on me, opponent. There's no coming back from this. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of sad. I think that all the games I lost, it was just really because I couldn't cast my spells. That's kind of the way the draft goes sometimes, though. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.